When I was born, my parents were delighted with my lovely black hair. "She's our little raven-haired beauty."
That's what we should call her, Raven.
My twin sister Megan was born minutes later with blonde hair just like Dad's. No one ever believed we were twins because we did not look alike. In fact, we were complete opposites in every way. We had a farm and I loved our simple life and I never complained a day. But Megan constantly threw tantrums when she didn't get what she wanted, which was often. Once when I was 7, Mom got me a new pair of sneakers when she saw how worn out my old ones were. But when Megan saw them, she went bananas. "I want a pair of sneakers right now. The ones I'm wearing are ugly and useless. I told you I needed new shoes every 3 weeks. Do you understand that? You're such a brat, Megan. You have so many pairs already." "You're such a brat. Me. I'm not talking to you. Mom, I need an answer."
We just bought you a new pair last month.
"I knew it. You love her more than me." She threw such a fit that Mom got her an expensive pair of shoes just to shut her up. Life at the farm was amazing, but we were always short of money. To help, Mom picked up a job as a seamstress in the city, and she was really good. Watching her work was magic to my eyes, and she agreed to train me too. I would finally be able to pitch in and help them get some extra money. By the time I was 16, I was so good at stitching that my parents got me my own sewing machine. Megan was so jealous. "You won't get me the Gucci dress I wanted while you spoil her with expensive gifts? This is so unfair." Unlike you, I help Mom and Dad pay the bills, so either work or stop complaining. I hate my life. I deserve pretty things. One day, when I'm rich and famous, I will never come back. Seeing Mom's sad face, I felt awful. I had to do something that would make them both happy. I stayed up for 2 nights and made Megan an exact replica of the dress she wanted. It was perfect. When Megan saw it, she had no clue it was a fake. "Oh, Mom, I love you." A week later, Dad announced that we were shifting to Houston. We had to sell the farm because of money issues and join his brother's business instead. I loved my life here and I hated the idea of moving, but Megan couldn't get out of there fast enough. Dad's brother was a rich businessman who lived in a huge house with his daughter Sasha. We met her on the first day at school, and she seemed to be insanely popular. But to my surprise, everyone kept looking at me on my first day. I didn't know why, until several people came up to me and told me how pretty I was and how much they loved my black hair. Sasha was not happy. She came and slammed her locker shut next to mine, glaring at me. A word of advice? Don't let this attention get to your head. I'm the queen bee here. Good to know. I have to get to class now. I turned around and left, but a few steps later, Megan stopped me. "What do you think you're doing? I know you think you're special, but don't get on Sasha's bad side. She's my ticket to popularity." "Whatever, Meg. You do you, and I'll do me." That first month of school, Megan became a bigger pain in the butt because of Sasha. Megan copied everything Sasha did and blew up at our parents when they told her they couldn't afford her long list of demands. But things took a wild turn when a new boy, Dan, joined our class. All the girls were obsessed with him, including Megan. Apparently, he was a childhood friend of Sasha's, so Megan begged her to hook them up. Sasha obviously took advantage of the situation. She had Megan acting like her minion and doing stupid errands for her. One day, I saw Megan running around the cafeteria getting lunch for Sasha, and I just had to stop it. "Megan, slow down! Wait! Ah!" I suddenly tripped, and the entire tray flew and landed on Megan's head. She was covered in spaghetti. "What is wrong with you, Raven? You did this on purpose!" No need to scream like a farm girl, Megan. We have sensitive ears. Forget about it. And get yourself cleaned up. Dan will never take a chicken-smelling idiot on a date. Megan stomped off in embarrassment, and I turned to Sasha. "What is your deal? Stop treating her like she's your servant. She might not see through you, but I do." "Really? Well, too bad I don't care about either of you. Tell Megan she can kiss Dan goodbye." What a witch! Later that day, I told Megan what Sasha had said, but she didn't believe me. Interesting, because Sasha just texted me that Dan wants to ask me out at lunch tomorrow. Go away, liar, and let me get my beauty sleep. The next morning, Megan took an hour to get ready, and she even bragged to everyone at lunch about it. But when the time came, Dan walked right past Megan and came straight to me.
Hey, Raven. I'm sure you already know why I'm here.
No, I don't.
Oh, I thought Sasha would have mentioned it. I told her I wanted to ask out her cousin. Any chance you're free tomorrow?
Oh, no. I told Dan I was busy, but he looked so disappointed that I agreed to do a small meetup at the library later. And when I got home, Megan was furious. I'm done living under your shadow when I'm clearly better than you. Dan was supposed to ask me out, not you. I had no control over that. And maybe if you were nicer, people might like you more. Oh, please. You just get handed everything while I have to work so hard to get people to notice me. Then stop pretending and just be yourself for once. I happen to like that person when she's not a crazy, spoiled witch. Megan gasped and ran to her room sobbing. I felt so bad for what I said, but I couldn't take this anymore. I met Dan the next day at the library and learned that we had one thing in common: our love of fashion. His mom owned a huge fashion house, and he knew everything there was to know about clothes. We decided to be friends, and I invited him to our birthday party. Maybe if he got to know Megan, he'd see how great she was. It was supposed to be a small party, but that evening, the doorbell just kept ringing. Soon, over 100 people were crammed into our small apartment, and I overheard some girls saying that Megan had invited the entire school. She wore the dress I'd made for her and bragged to everyone about how expensive it was. But she had no idea that it was a fake. OMG. Do you expect me to believe that this is genuine Gucci? Please. I turned around to see Sasha laughing at Megan. Of course it is. My mom bought it for me herself. Oh, sweetheart. I can smell a fake Gucci from a mile away. And this one stinks. Sasha went on blabbering about the materials, tags, everything. Suddenly, something came over Megan and she screamed. She grabbed the cake and shoved it right into Sasha's face. I am so sick of everyone thinking they're better than me. Sasha stood stunned for a moment, and then she attacked Megan. They screamed and wrestled like crazy while everyone stared in shock. I had to think quickly, so I grabbed the fire extinguisher and sprayed them until they stopped. Enough! This is not over. I hate you, Sasha, and I will never forgive you, Raven. Megan stormed off, and I couldn't believe my eyes. This was a whole new level of crazy. But the next morning, I forgot all of Megan's drama when I went downstairs and found out Dad was feeling really unwell. The next thing we knew, we were in the hospital, with doctors telling us that he had a heart condition. He was out of danger, but he still needed care for the next few weeks. I helped Mom do house chores and take care of Dad, while Megan never even moved a finger, like always. Later that week, I was just getting back home after some errands when I saw Megan with Sasha coming out of a super expensive store and carrying shopping bags. And they seemed as close as ever, like the fight never happened. But the next day at school, I was walking down the hallway when Sasha suddenly pulled me into an empty classroom. Hey, what? Just listen to me, okay? I'm worried about Megan. She's been really weird lately. Yesterday at the mall, we almost got busted because Megan stole an expensive top and threw a huge tantrum when she got caught. I had to pay for it. And she's been saying some really crazy things, too. And why should I believe anything you say? All you've done is make things worse between me and Megan. Look, I know things that may shock you. Like that big scar on your stomach, I know about it. I was surprised Megan had mentioned it. It was a scar I got when I fell off my bicycle once as a kid. Okay. So Megan told you about it. Big deal. It was a dumb accident from when I was 7. That's not what she told me. It wasn't an accident. Megan said she messed up your brakes on purpose so you'd get hurt. I'm telling you, there's something very wrong with that girl. I just pushed her aside and walked out of there, but I felt a bit sick in my stomach. Could Megan really have done that? The next day, Dan came to visit me with some exciting news. His mom had seen a picture of the dress I'd made for Megan. She loved it and wanted to meet me.
She wants you to bring the dress and come for an interview at her company.
I was so excited. A job like this could really help us out, so I agreed immediately. I asked Megan if she could give me the dress, and she shot me the weirdest smirk as she fetched it from her cupboard. This dress? Just then, she grabbed a pair of scissors and ripped it apart. Megan, no! Oops, I slipped. She tossed the dress aside and walked off as I watched in horror. I called Dan and begged him to buy me another day so I could make a new dress, but he gave me an amazing idea.
Why don't you just add a few things to the same dress and make it edgy?
I did just that, and Dan's mom was stunned by my talent. She offered to take me along for the next Paris Fashion Week. She was all set to offer me a job afterwards too, and I was on top of the world. But just a day before my flight, Dad felt sicker and I decided to cancel my trip.
No, Raven, you can't miss this. You have to go. I'll be fine, love.
I'm here, don't worry. The unpaid nurse. Go, go, live your dreams, princess. I wasn't too sure about leaving my parents alone with Megan, but they insisted. And Paris was a dream come true. I also got a chance to wear my design and people showered me with compliments. I still had 3 days left in Paris when one morning I got a frantic call from Mom. I'm so sorry to ruin your trip, Raven, but we need you here. Megan ran away with all our money, and all I have is a note saying that she's chasing her dreams and never coming back. This girl had gone completely off the rails. I left for home immediately. Thankfully, Dan's mom said I could start the job right away, and we had some money coming in so I could take care of things, especially Dad's treatment. And he made a full recovery in a few months. I worked really hard and designed some brilliant outfits, and within a year, Dan's mom was so happy with me that she relocated us to New York to run her store and offices there. Life was good, except for the fact that we couldn't stop wondering what had happened to Megan. One day, I was reading at a cafe and the waitress brought my order. And when I looked up, I was shocked to see it was Megan. She looked so different. Her hair was all messy and she'd lost weight. She stared back at me in shock. What are you doing here? What does it look like? I work here. I know you're some big shot designer now, so please don't rub it in my face. Wow, I see you haven't changed much. That's all you have to say to me? Typical. What else should I say, Megan? You're meeting me after so long and you don't feel a tiny bit of shame for hurting your sister, for robbing our parents, for breaking their hearts? You're still just as awful as ever. I got up and started walking away, but suddenly she grabbed my arm and started sobbing. No, please, wait. I made a lot of mistakes, and I was jealous and selfish, and I'm miserable now, Raven. I need you, please. I'll do anything. I'll be better, I promise. It has to be more than just empty words, and you need to earn my trust. I'll offer you a job on 2 conditions. You will start at the bottom and you'll work your way up, just like everyone else. And you'll get therapy. Got it? Yes! Good, then you can start tomorrow. Now come home. Mom and Dad miss you.